MARIANNE Bachmeier and the Loss of Innocence. In the quiet German town of Lübeck in the early 1980s, a tragedy unfolded that would not only shock the nation but ignite a conversation about justice, revenge, and the fragility of innocence. This is the heartbreaking story of MARIANNE Bachmeier and the loss of her beloved daughter, Anna, a story that ends with one of the most dramatic moments ever witnessed in a courtroom. MARIANNE Bachmeier was a single mother living a modest life in Lübeck. She had faced her own struggles, but her greatest joy and purpose in life was her 7-year-old daughter, Anna. Anna was a lively, free-spirited girl with a bright smile and a love for animals. Her innocence was pure, her future filled with promise. But in 1980, their lives changed forever. On a spring morning, Anna and her mother had a disagreement, a small, typical quarrel between a mother and child. Anna, upset, decided to skip school that day. Instead, she wandered through the town, perhaps seeking solace or just a way to cool off. Tragically, this small act of defiance set off a chain of events that would lead to her murder. Anna was lured by a man named Klaus Grabowski, a 35-year-old with a dark and sinister past. Grabowski was a known pedophile and a convicted child molester who had served time in prison. What made his case even more chilling was that he had voluntarily undergone chemical castration but later sought hormone treatment to reverse it. Despite his dangerous tendencies, he lived freely in society. On that fateful day, Grabowski kidnapped Anna. He held her captive for several hours in his home, a place where darkness and depravity lurked. But what made this crime even more harrowing was that Grabowski had confided in his fiancée about his intentions. She later testified that he had feared returning to prison and losing her if Anna reported him. Driven by his twisted fears, Grabowski made the horrifying decision to end Anna's life. He strangled the young girl with his fiancée's tights and placed her lifeless body in a box. In a cruel and calculated move, he left the box near a canal, where Anna's body was later discovered. The discovery shattered the town of Lübeck and left MARIANNE in unbearable grief. MARIANNE was consumed by guilt, blaming herself for the argument they'd had that morning. She struggled to cope with the unimaginable pain of losing her child, especially in such a brutal and senseless way. But her anguish turned to rage when Klaus Grabowski was arrested. The trial began in 1981. The courtroom was packed, the air heavy with tension. MARIANNE sat in the gallery, listening to the horrific details of what had happened to her daughter. Every word was like a dagger to her heart. She was haunted by the knowledge that a man with such a dangerous past had been allowed to roam free, ultimately taking the life of her innocent child. As the trial progressed, MARIANNE's anger boiled over. She felt that the justice system had failed Anna, first by allowing Grabowski his freedom and now by giving him a platform to defend himself. On the third day of the trial, MARIANNE brought a small pistol into the courtroom. It was an ordinary day in the trial, with witnesses being called and evidence presented. Klaus Grabowski sat at the defendant's table, confident and remorseless. Then, in a moment that would become etched in history, MARIANNE pulled out the gun and fired 7 shots at Grabowski. 6 bullets struck him, and he died instantly. The courtroom erupted into chaos. Some were horrified, while others were silently supportive, believing MARIANNE's act was one of a mother seeking justice for her daughter. MARIANNE was immediately arrested, but her actions sparked a fierce debate across Germany and beyond. Was she a grieving mother pushed to the edge, or a vigilante who had taken the law into her own hands? MARIANNE's trial became a sensation. The media painted her as both a tragic figure and a symbol of defiance against a system that had failed to protect her child. During her testimony, MARIANNE explained her actions with heartbreaking honesty. She admitted to feeling helpless and overwhelmed by grief. She didn't plan to kill Grabowski, but as she listened to him recount the events leading to Anna's death, something inside her snapped. The jury faced a difficult decision. On one hand, MARIANNE's actions were undeniably illegal. On the other, her pain was palpable, and many sympathized with her. In the end, the court sentenced her to 6 years in prison for manslaughter, though she only served 3. Marianne's story doesn't have a fairy tale ending. She carried the weight of her actions and the loss of her daughter for the rest of her life. She later moved away from Germany, seeking peace and anonymity. But her case left an indelible mark on society, sparking debates about justice, revenge, and the rights of victims. Marianne Bachmeier's act was one of desperation, born out of a mother's unbearable pain. While some see her as a vigilante, others see her as a mother who was failed by the system. Her story forces us to confront difficult questions about the balance between justice and revenge, and whether true justice can ever be achieved when innocence is lost. And so, the story of Marianne Bachmeier and the loss of innocence is one that will never be forgotten, a tragic reminder of the fragility of life and the lengths to which a grieving mother will go to seek justice for her child. Thank you for watching this story about Jessica Lane's mysterious disappearance. If you found this video intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more true crime stories. Your support helps us bring these mysteries to light. See you in the next one.